This is the Stoll FX 68. It's a vintage fuzz with a modern heart, or a modern fuzz with a vintage heart, however you like it. He takes stuff to the next level and he wants it to be perfect. Let me just unhook this so you can actually see the pedal. What I first noticed when I opened the package is how cool everything is, because the box comes in a Stoll FX tote bag, and then you open the box and there's candy and lots of stickers, and the pedal itself is super duper heavy. He designed his own enclosure, has his own knobs made, so it's really expensive to build. But he's not cutting any corners anywhere. Even the white here, he sent me a video describing that even the white here on the knobs, the white dot, he paints it himself. Crazy. But the cool thing is, this enclosure is very solid. And you know, when you have these like full tone type pedals, there's always this seam. He didn't want that, so he put the seam here on the bottom of the pedal, so it just looks magnificent, and it feels like a very heavy thing. You could kill somebody with this. It's super sturdy and looks fantastic. All right, let's plug it back in. You have multiple controls on the fuzz pedal. Hang on. All right, of course there's a volume and fuzz, but there's also a preamp, like pushing the transistors even further. So you can get into very high gain fuzz territory, but it also has, if you turn down the preamp, it has a super smooth vintage fuzz tone. So that's what I say, you can go modern with it, but also really old school. And even though the transistors and all the parts are new old stock, so it's vintage stuff in here, he added some modern stuff, so you can place this anywhere in the chain. You can daisy chain it. A germanium fuzz. It's a germanium fuzz, which you can daisy chain. That's insane. And there's a little bright switch here on the top, where you can add more high end, so it doesn't sound muddy with dark guitars. And the cool thing is, when you flip the switch, the headlight color changes on the car here. It's so insanely cool. Let's roll down the preamp and we're gonna listen to it. Turn off the pedal, and then the headlights turn off. I love this. Okay, here we go. So first up is, of course, the clean tone. And maybe tune the guitar. Carl long bottom Volvia with Sun Bear pickups, Firebird pickups into the Tube Rock Classic Reverb signature, into the bus tube amp expander, into the interface, and then into your ears. Yeah, let's turn it on. Volume, and the bright switch is off. Ho, ho, ho. Let's raise the volume a little bit. Bright switch. cleanup is more even. When you have a vintage fuzz face, 9.5 is just crunch, and the 9 is completely clean. This has a more natural feel on the guitar volume, and it doesn't become as bright. As bright as a fuzz face. I like that. Preamp. Let's close the fuzz again, open up the preamp. Fuzz and then a little bit of preamp. Bright off. Cranking the preamp. Oh. Rolling back on the fuzz. Woo. Ratings. Build quality. Well, like I said, it's super heavy. It's a brick and you can kill somebody with it. So I have zero doubts that this will last a lifetime. 10 out of 10. Innovation. You know, he took a very familiar concept, like a vintage fuzz, new old stock components. That's all fine. A lot of people are doing that. But he added stuff to make it his own and make it more useful for you and for me and for everybody else that wants or has this pedal. The preamp is a very welcome addition, so you can really take it over the edge. So you have the super smooth tones and then extreme and everything in between. You have the bright switch, which is super useful and doesn't interfere with the original tone of the pedal. And, you know, come on, this is super cool. Like, changing colors of the headlights, brilliant. And the enclosure that he completely designed himself, the custom knobs, everything, it just screams quality. And I think that is innovation, but it's based on a vintage fuzz pedal, so 8 out of 10. Looks, well, I already said this, changing headlight colors, beautiful, beautiful 11 out of 10. Ease of use, you have your standard 2-knob fuzz control and the preamp, and it's one switch here, and it's super easy to use, 9 out of 10. Sound, it sounds amazing. And no matter where you set these knobs, you will always have a good sound. It may not be the sound you're looking for, but it will be a good sound, and that's the sign for me that somebody really knows what he's doing when he's building these pedals, so 10 out of 10. Pricing, it is 369 euros, and I realized that that is a lot of money. However, you get new old stock parts inside the fuzz pedal, and a lot of builders that use new old stock parts charge a lot more for their fuzz pedals. Then he changed like things to make it work anywhere in the chain, and with a daisy chain, and you have the bright switch. That edition, it comes with a super cool tote bag. When you open the parcel, you're surprised and happy to unbox it. It's a super cool unboxing experience. And he put a lot of time and effort and money into designing and building these custom enclosures and knobs. So I do think it's worth this kind of money, but I realize it is a lot of money, so 7 out of 10. Brings the total to a 9.2 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That helps me to grow the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.